Music by DUDE.
Speak Black to Me. Speak Black to Me, a dynamic space of black discourse where we engage in the process of elevating and transforming the mind.
So this is Speak Black to Me. Speak Black to Me is a space where we engage in the conversation of elevation of our people. It is an opportunity that we have to be able to transcend our condition of complacency and inhumanity. In our travels, we come across people from all over the world who are very much aware of the dynamics of race, racism, and oppression. And those who have the discussion inside of their classrooms, inside of their special places among their families, inside of their churches, mosques, and synagogue. We're here with LaVonna from the UK, who is an educator, but also a person who utilizes the arts to transform, to transcend, and to allow people to elevate themselves beyond the condition of being inferior. LaVonna, thank you for being here, as being a part of Speak Black to Me.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us about your work as an artist, but also as a teacher.
Yes, well, I've been doing performing arts in England, and I graduated in a theatre company, and when I was performing there and doing my degree, I was doing a play called A Destructive Mind. So it was based on the looting of the 2011 looting. That was the riots, should I say, in 2011. And we were dipping into different backgrounds of the people that actually looted, and we were just trying to show that it's not just black people that's involved. This is also people from different backgrounds, from working class, higher class, etc. And we're showing that the stigma that we're always getting is it needs to be shown that it's not always us. So that's what it was about, and it was about also, like I was saying, different backgrounds of mentality as well. So we're talking about people that are having mental problems that was involved, people that are poor. Also people that are rich. One of the parliament's son, who's a white boy, he was involved in the looting. So it's not just a lower class status of black people that's always involved. So that is something we was trying to get across.
So you said a riot, and some would even call it a revolt, right? Or a revolution, or even a rebellion.
Yeah.
But you said that this looting and the play, Destructive Minds. So will you tell our people about Destructive Minds, just a little bit more about why that was so important, and how you thought about the depiction of black men, black women, black children in that process, and how you see your artwork transcending and transforming?
We're always getting stigmatized. There's always stereotypes of black people, and it's my job as a black person to educate the best way that I can of what's been going on. So that is a part of the reason why I wrote the play A Destructive Mind. I was also writing that with a few people, and we would go to different schools. We started in a school in Edmonton in London, which is where the actual riot started. So we was discussing about that in the schools. We was doing workshops with the schools. This is secondary schools, by the way. This is something that I always do. I'm a secondary teacher as well, and we would do workshops, and like I said, dipping into the information about why looting was going on, and just trying to steer away from the typical stigma that's always black people, black men, that thug kind of stigma that we're always getting. So we're just trying to portray the correct message.
So talk about that thug image that is seen among black men. So you're saying that in the UK, there's an issue with black men being seen as thugs, and also we know in the US.
Yes.
So tell me more about that. So in the UK, black men are seen as thugs, as being less than human.
Yes. I mean, with, how can I say it? Yes, there's stigma. I would say there's a reason why, we are portrayed that way. And it's not because of us as a black people, it's how we've been treated. So if we're treated a certain way and dehumanized, then we are going to rebel. And a lot of black people are not getting the actual, support that is needed. And so we're going to lash out on that. We're going to do whatever we can to give us that kind of power in any circumstance and situation possible. And so that's every time we are doing that, we are seen as thugs. But it's more than that. We're not thugs. We don't get supported the way that we deserve to get supported. We're all human beings, but we're not treated like human beings. And so there's a lack of support intentionally, because there's so much teachers, so much people that are in the world and in England. We're talking about England that could offer help, which is their profession, but they choose not to. And so in response to that, we lash out because we're not heard. So if we're not heard, then things like that is going to happen. So yeah, that's a part of the mentality that has to be shared. We're not thugs. We need help.
So we're not heard. So not only are black men not heard,
yes,
it seems like we could say that the black community is not heard. And that
Exactly.
you're saying that the response is to lash out. Who is not hearing us?
The government's not hearing us. Our communities, well, I say communities, it's not our as black people, but the people that are supposed to be supporting us, they're not hearing us. They're just doing what they like to do, and we're not being heard.
Okay. So when we talk about not being heard, is there a place for the black man, for the black woman of African descent? Is there a place for them to have some voice, to have some agency, to be heard?
Well, there's enough room. There's enough room, but it's not. It's something that we need to do together. We need to come together and find a way to support each other and be heard. Because we can't keep thinking that we're going to go to the white man for the help, because it's not going to be given to us like that. So we have to do it ourselves as a collective and do what we need to do to be heard. We can't keep going outside of our communities to get heard. It's not going to happen.
So you're saying that we have what we need to be successful?
We do, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
as a Pan-Africanist, as I am, I contend that people of African descent should find themselves in a space where they are seen as human, whether that be somewhere in the continent of Africa, whether it be in Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania, whether it be any other space in Egypt, where they find themselves to be human. Do you believe that the continent of Africa offers our people an opportunity to be seen as humans?
Absolutely. This is where we're from, and it's for us, when I say us, people that are not from Africa. When I say not from Africa, those people that are in the Western world, England, America, etc. It's time for us to return back home and work with each other to get to be heard, but to also uplift each other and work on our countries and just come together. That's how we're going to work. That's how it should be operated. No other way than that.
How can you use this content, this philosophy in the arts to develop plays and that kind of thing? How would you use this?
Well, the more I speak about it, the more I discuss it, is the more I could teach, I could elevate, I could educate, children to know the next step, what to do in order to be a collective, how to be heard, and yeah.
So in thinking about a play, a production, do you have an idea of something that you would do that would help a person develop a more Pan-African consciousness?
Writing in general is a platform that should be used not just for entertaining but for educating. So that is something that I like to do on any issues that's around Black people. It's something that I definitely want to develop more and educate people on. So, yeah.
Speak Black to Me, we're here with LaVonna, who speaks about the importance of consciousness and the arts in elevating consciousness. And so we're concerned about the arts and how currently our media does not tend to play up this idea of a Pan-African identity. It often plays up something else other than that. It's many times it's anti-African. So your responsibility in teaching the children about who they are
Yes.
in a non-threatening way is a major responsibility. How have you been able to do that in the UK?
Well, when I was in the UK, I was going to different schools, actually predominantly black schools. I would go to in London, and I would not only do the plays on a destructive mind, but I would do workshops, and I'd lead workshops about what's going on with a destructive mind, what's going on with the looting, and the mentality behind that. So yeah.
Why destructive minds?
It's a question mark. It's a destructive mind question mark, because it's a portrayal that we are a certain way. So it's questioning, are we a certain way? Are we a certain way, or is it because of the situation that we've been placed in, why we act in a certain way? So that's what it's about.
So the work I do is around psychology and the mind, and understanding the African mind. And so what you mentioned is very much in alignment with that conversation, that we can't have post-traumatic slave disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, because we're not in a post moment. That it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
And therefore I call it persistent enslavement systemic trauma. And you clearly articulate that it is an ongoing process.
Yes.
That we're constantly under attack. But you also present to us an antidote. You present to us a way to address that. And that is to take our skills, our crafts, right?
Yes.
And to take the form of art of playwright and create narratives that can transform minds. You use the word destructive minds, question mark. But do we ever analyze in your plays the real destructive mind? The one that would separate families from the continent of Africa. The one that would beat and sodomize and brutalize people. The one that would unjustly incarcerate populations. The one that would unjustly gun them down in streets in various countries. Do we ever analyze that as a destructive mind to humanity? Take people and to put them into servitude for your economic gain while demoralizing them in the process. That's a destructive mind. And what you suggest is that destructive minds can produce destructive minds. But the antidote is in how those minds that are not so contaminated, that can create a conversation that allows us to be able to transcend our given condition of oppression and dehumanization.
Yes.
You all heard it.
Exactly.
We have a sister from the UK. She is conscious, she's moving, she's making things happen among our children. The children go home and talk to the parents, and the parents then take certain actions. Know that the work that we do is not just local in the US, it's not just in the UK, that we are a global people, and that we have a place under the sun. And LaVonna said that that place is Africa. Find your place. Be able to stand in it, radiate, and then engage in the healing from the inside out. Speak Black to Me.
Thank you very much for giving me this platform to even speak about, the issues that's going on with our people. Yeah, I'm very honoured that you interviewed me, and yeah, thank you. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.